In many IoT applications, we need to upload data from various sensors such as gas, water quality, soil, temperature, wind speed, or other environmental sensors to the cloud and understand the current environmental conditions through a simple dashboard. Today, we will explain how to connect a Modbus sensor to the WR222 4G LTE gateway and upload the data to OTA's dashboard. First, let's discuss the connection architecture. Connect the ES104 Modbus sensor to the WR222 serial port. Configure parameters on the WR222 to read the sensor's values, and use MQTT protocol to transmit the collected data over the 4G LTE WAN network to a cloud server. Use a DB9 serial cable to connect the Modbus sensor and WR222. Next, let's explain the wiring between the sensor and WR222. Start by identifying the 4 wires of our sensor. Here, brown is positive power, black is negative power, green is RS485A line, and blue is RS485B line. Take a DB9 terminal adapter and insert the RS485A line into pin 3 of the DB9 and RS485B line into pin 1 of the DB9. Secure the connections with a screwdriver, then connect the DB9 to the DB9 male port on the WR222. After completing the connection to the WR222, connect the sensor's power positive and negative to a power supply. If connecting multiple sensors, ensure to change each sensor's ID to avoid conflicts, as described later in the Modbus Write section. Open a web browser and enter the WR222's IP address. Log in to the device. Click on the left serial menu. Here, configure the serial settings according to your serial devices. We use ES104 Modbus sensor as an example. Select RS485-2W for the interface, 9600 for baud rate, none for parity, 8-bit for data bit, 1 stop bit for stop bit, none for flow control, disable for terminal resistor, and Modbus RTU for service mode. Click Submit after configuring. After completing the configuration, click on the left IoT menu. In the Modbus Write interface, you can modify the device ID of the sensor to avoid the conflict of multiple sensor ID being the same. If you only connect one sensor, in the WR222, you can skip this Modbus Write configuration. Select Serial 1. Input the original sensor ID. For PLC address, enter the Modbus register address number. This address can be found in the sensor's specifications or manual. The leading digit and 0 do not need to be entered. Here we see the slave ID address is 42001, so we input 2001. Choose function 06. In the value field, enter the new ID and ensure this new ID does not conflict with other sensor IDs. Click Submit to change the setting. After successfully modifying the settings, click on Modbus Logging to configure the Modbus sensor reading. In the Modbus Logging page, configure the sensor parameters for reading. Click on the Enable Logging. Enter temperature in the name field, for example. Choose Serial 1 for the serial option. Input the device ID, slave ID, that we modified before. We just modified the slave ID as 2, so we input 2 here. For PLC address, set it according to the Modbus register of the sensor. Here we can see the PLC address for the temperature is 40,502, so we input 502. The leading digit and 0 do not need to be entered. Choose function 03. The data type refers to the sensor reading type. Here we input the data type as int16. Finally, click Submit to save the configuration. Return to the tag list to confirm that the configuration has been completed. Click Refresh to see if Alive is displayed as Yes, and the value field shows the sensor readings. This confirms that our sensor has successfully uploaded the readings to WR222. Click Edit if you need to modify these parameters. It's worth noting that WR222 supports data saving. To enable this feature, go to Log to SD card, select Enable, and then click Submit. You can download the SD log by clicking on Download SD log. If the stored data becomes too large, logs will be moved to the history records. In such cases, click on Download History to view the original data. After configuring the sensor parameters, click on the OTA page. This page requires the access token from the OTA platform for configuration. Therefore, we need to first set up the WR222 on the OTA platform. Open a web browser and enter the OTA IP address. Log in to the OTA platform. Click on Devices on the left sidebar. Here, create a gateway for WR222. Once the gateway creation is successful, you will see the access token generated on the detail page. Next, go back to the WR222 configuration. Enable the Remote Management System OTA feature. Enter your OTA domain name or IP address in the server field. Input the MQTT port based on the configuration of your cloud platform. For example, ThingsMaster OTA uses port 8883 for MQTTs. You can directly copy the access token from the OTA platform and paste it into the corresponding field on the WR222 configuration page. After pasting the access token, you can set the publish interval for uploading data to OTA. Select a valid OTA certificate file for the CA certificate. Then, upload the certificate file. After successfully uploading the CA certificate, click Submit to save the configuration. Once the configuration is completed, click Reload. In the WR222 OTA status field, you should see Connected, indicating that the WR222 is now successfully connected to OTA. After clicking on WR222 in the OTA platform and navigating to Latest Telemetry, you will be able to see that the data has been successfully transmitted. Currently, the measured temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, the OTA platform also includes dashboard functionality. If you want to display parameters on a dashboard, follow these steps. Click on the desired parameter such as temperature and check Show on Widget. Choose the panel where you want to display this parameter. Use the left and right arrows to view different panel styles. After selecting the panel style, click Add to Dashboard. Then, choose to create a new dashboard. Click on Add, then navigate to the left sidebar menu under Dashboard. You should see the newly added dashboard successfully created. Click on the bottom right corner to edit the dashboard and adjust its size according to your preferences. Now we can use the OTA dashboard feature to display sensor readings effectively.